How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Is It a Buy, where we talk about stocks and try to determine if they are worth a buy or maybe a pass. My name is Corey. I'd just like to preface the video by saying I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who likes to talk about stocks, so please take what I say with a grain of salt, all right? Let's get into the video. Today we are talking about all of our favorite heavily shorted stocks, minus one of them. I'm not going to cover AMC today because it's basically flat from where it was yesterday. Same information. As soon as I see a little bit of a change or some kind of trend or something, I'll definitely bring it back up. Or we have a big day and it's T+2 and we want to see what's going on. So, but as of now, it's kind of flat. So I'm just going to pause on that one for now. But I do want to talk about Progenity because we have seen some moves, a few T+2s that I do want to cover, and some requests that I want to cover as well. So let's go ahead and get started with Progenity. We can see here, yesterday they were down 3.61%. Today in the pre-market, they are down 3.46%. In the last few days, these are the one-day candles. And we can see right here that the T+2 right here was down almost 7%. Yesterday, down another 3%. Which we just spoke about. And so, and T+3 technically, I guess, was plus 3.2%. So so the newest data is going to be where the T+2 was of the negative 7%, right? So let's take a look over here in Ortex. So we can see Ortex, the shares on loan, it actually looks like it has been going down. Typically, whenever you see a down day, especially a negative 7%, you will see some kind of the shares on loan will typically go up. Now, I just remember that there was an additional stock offering not too long ago, I think at the beginning of October or around middle October or something. It didn't seem to have negatively affected the stock so much, but I wonder how long the stock offering took, if it's finished or if it recently finished, because I noticed that the free float on loan changed. It was pretty similar to, I believe, ATER previously, around, I think it was like 70%. And I don't think it's going to reflect here because of the way the free float changed. But yeah, it's not going to reflect here. But either way, I wonder if that's having a little something to do with it. Either way, you know, my other confirmation biases that I'm taking a look at are the utilization. Utilization is extremely sky high. I mean, ridiculously high. And as long as that's high, it's like, okay, like this thing, they're running out of fuel, running out of ammo. I still really believe that this stock is going to go crazy relatively soon, you know, which is why I've been covering it so much, and I'm pretty bullish on it. Another metric that I looked at, was the average age of the shares on loan of a loan. And so we can see here, it's about 20 days. So we'll just say it's, you know, the 31st, and we'll just go to the October 20th or something, you know, just to be super easy. So around October 20th, the stock was around, oh wait, that would have been October 10th. Whoops. Around, okay, October 11th, right? The high was $2.15, right? So let's say the average, you know, short was around $2.15. So like, okay, it had a little bit of a run, beginner's luck, and it's just going to drop from here. So we're just going to continue to short the stock. And we can see that that's not the way it went, right? That was a risky move, did not play out for them, as my friends would say.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Thanks, guys. So, no, not a very good move from them. But either way, you know, the stock is extremely short. We see the volume, right? This is something I've been waiting for. I've been looking for this volume to pick up. And as it goes a little flatter, right, and the next catalyst, I think, is going to be just a little more volume, maybe some of these shorts covering to get a little more of this utilization back so they can short more shares or use more shares to short. And I think when that happens, people are going to hop back in. It's going to continue to skyrocket. And I'm looking for some kind of either gamma squeeze or, you know, a lot of FOMOing, and people hop in and it really just drives this stock going. I know people are scared of this stock, especially with AMC. You know, they don't want people leaving AMC and going to the stock. But either way, you know, some people I think will play it like me. It's very cheap. It's just a few bucks. And, you know, I think if people are buying shares and stuff, it could be very huge as far as a move. I think the volume is picking up, especially compared to how large the free float is. And this could be a pretty great play. So I'm taking a look at that. Short interest, you know, down a little bit too, but I'm really not too worried about it. It's above my mental threshold of where I think it should be. So that's what's going on there. I did want to take a look at Fintel. I was taking a look at Fintel for a few things, and I was like, you know what? This is something I haven't really been looking at. But the short squeeze score, we can see right here, the short squeeze score for PROG is ranked number 1 out of, you know, almost 5,500. And, you know, not that that's really means much, because we know how Fintel data can be kind of manipulated. But it's just more confirmation bias that I feel confident in, especially as the stock is taking a bit of a dip. I personally think it's going to dip. I think this is going to be a pretty big run this time. There's some interesting catalysts with failure to delivers and stuff like that I think may have some kind of may be a catalyst actually for the stock to really go crazy. So I'm looking forward to that. No dates, but I'm just waiting very patiently. Another thing I wanted to point out was a dark pool short volume ratio. And we can see here it's about 50% of the stock is being shorted in dark pools, which is really lame, honestly. I think as soon as dark pools are either banned or more regulated or whatever is going to happen there, I think that is going to cause a lot of these stocks to go crazy. We know that, a lot of people have been tweeting Gary Gensler, and a lot of the apes on the subreddits have been talking about this. So I think once this happens, I think all of these stocks, AMC, GameStop included for sure, would, or I guess I can't say for sure, but I strongly believe that AMC and GameStop would be included in that. And I think everyone would just go to the moon at the same time, and it would be a wild ride for sure. So let's go ahead and move on to the next stock. I wanted to cover all those bases really quick, and the rest will be pretty quick, but I wanted to talk about BBIG is next. Does anyone have next on my list? Yeah, BBIG. All right, so BBIG, we can see here, is this another, why is it saying 0, 0? Was it actually 0 yesterday of an increase or decrease? But either way, let's go ahead and take a look at the T+2. So we are looking back here at, why is it all 0? That's so crazy. I guess they had 2 flat days in a row, quote unquote flat. Well, yeah, they closed at the same. That is so crazy. What are the chances of that? Well, I guess either way, we'll take a look at the chart and see what's going on over here with the shares on loan. Trending back upwards, basically right next to the all-time high being 38.7. We're currently at 36.6, so 1.1 million. And we can see here the free float on loan, 40% almost, is pretty high. Utilization 99.97%. It really doesn't get any better as far as the setup goes for the stock to run. I know it's been downward trending for a little bit, but confirmation bias again, as it was trending downward, the shares on loan kept increasing, right? Meaning that they're continuing to short the stock, right? That's what we see here. And I think that I'm pretty sure that this was the bottom under $5. I personally feel it's probably the bottom. And I think it's probably just going to reverse from there. If it does dip under $5 again, especially with this being so high, I may add to my position. I'm pretty happy with my position, but I think that this one's going to take off relatively soon in the scheme of things, right? Let's take a look at BBIG on Fintel. We can see here it's ranked 27 out of 5,500 for the short squeeze score. And the dark pool volume was 33.57, so not as high as PROG, but that's still extremely, extremely high, right? And a lot of great numbers here if you want to take a look at that data. But that's what we're going to take a look at here, okay? Let's hop over to ATER. So ATER, where are you at? So we can see ATR has been trending downward for a little bit. T+2 back here being negative 6.72%, and then yesterday being down 0.63%. So nothing too crazy. Let's see where this one is today on Ortex. So shares on loan, it finally bounced, which is what we were looking for. It's been downward trending as the stock was going down, which kind of counteracts what I believe, especially what was going on for BBIG, right? I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. So for BBIG, BBIG, we can see, right, the stock price went down as the shares on loan went up. In my personal, what I believe is saying they used those shares they borrowed more shares, which is why the shares on loan went up, to short the stock, which is why the price went down, right? So here, with the price going down, and this may just be some kind of people cooling off. We can see the volume was low. So maybe what this means is they were not borrowing shares, but people maybe weren't holding. I don't know. It's really hard to say what exactly happened here. I'm trying to put it together. If anyone has a thought, let me know. And I'd love if I think it's right, I'll pin it or something. If I like your thought, but yeah, so kind of hard to say what's going on exactly here, but either way, utilization 87.57% or 87.15%, which actually is a bit of a drop off from what I wanted to see. Free float on loan is still extremely high, 48.01% of the free float on loan. Just insane. Let's take a look at what Fintel has to say about it. So for Fintel, they are ranked 54 still out of 5,500, and the dark pool short volume is around 39%. Okay, so I'm going to continue. I do have a position in here. I'm going to continue to hold the position. I personally think it's fine. It's probably worth it. What's interesting is the short share availability. It says about less than 1 million shares available to short. I'm not really sure what's going on with this stock, why it's changing so much, but it's definitely very interesting. So we'll use this one as a weird little case study and continue to follow it to see what happens. Ocugen, this is one that I got a few requests for, so I figured I'd go ahead and cover it. The shares on loan. So shares on loan is still trending upward. Let's actually pull up Ocugen back here because I want to take a look at where we are in the T+2 cycle. So we can see here, right? So this is let's see. So this would have been T+2, which is plus, we'll call it 13%. T+3 was plus 9.05%, and T+4 is plus 5%. So and then yesterday being huge, yesterday was up 18%. And here in the pre-market, it's up 5.15%. So this stock has been going on a run. Now, what answer this for yourself, right? Whenever we see the stock go up like this, what typically happens to the shares on loan? The stock goes up, typically they're covering the shares on loan or something, and it goes down, right? So we can see here, this is for the past, let me see, 1, 2, 3 is the data that we have, 3 green days. And we can see here that, let me see, 1, 2, 3, it has been going down, right? So that makes sense. And even then, even with all of that price going up, again, plus 5, plus 10, plus 13%, right? Even with all of those moves, it's only gone down. The shares on loan have only gone down 2 million shares, right? So could you imagine if they covered all of this? It's up, let's say on average, I don't know, 20% or something. Can you imagine if they covered a lot more of this, how the stock would just run like crazy? And we've seen this time and time and time again, where they just return some of the shares, just a little bit, a few million out of like tens of millions, and it goes up a significant amount. And that's what I'm looking forward to, right? Can you imagine if they squeeze the stock? 49% of the stock is on free float. Can you imagine we can do the math, but if it went up, let's say 20%, right? Let's say it went 20% up in when they covered 2,000 or 2 million shares, what would it go up if they covered 50 million shares, right? So just things to think about, right? These are some crazy numbers that these stocks could really run. And realistically, it's a waiting game. And for all these stocks, right? All the heavily shorted stocks, and there's some stocks that I'm not talking about that are heavily shorted that you may have found. But these are the ones based on my personal equation that I use that I feel like could probably run the most. I am going to do a recalibration soon. I may find another stock, but realistically, you're waiting for those kinds of things, right? Waiting for those catalysts or something in order for them to move, because once they move, that's whenever you have your shot, right? Whenever they start to move, that's whenever you have the opportunities for these big gains. But the question is, are you going to chase the stock, or are you going to be in it before it runs, or how are you going to find the stock, right? Really quick, let's talk about the Fintel data for OCGN. I'm sure you already found a dark pool volume, 57.18%, which is, I think, the most out of all of them so far. 49. Yeah, that's the most. That's a lot of dark pool ratio for the stock to be running like it is, right? Another thing is the short squeeze score is number 53 out of 5,500. I mean, crazy. All these stocks that we're looking at is within the top 100, within the top 60 technically, but that sounds kind of weird. And that's what we have there. And speaking of opportunities, something I wanted to point out is, let's talk about Lucid really quick, right? Lucid is one of those things where they recently had positive news. The stock was, pretty heavily shorted or whatever. And we can see here, I mean, from 9/1, it went from $16. Currently, it's at $36, or I guess $34 in the pre-market. But the stock was heavily shorted, and we can go back, right? Let's look at September 1st over here and see where it was on Ortex. Take a look at this, and this is what you're waiting for. The question is, will you be in the stock when it runs? So let's pull up Lucid. So we're looking at September 1st, right? So let's go back to the utilization on September 1st was right here, 99%. 99%. Okay, shares on loan. Well, let's do the free float on loan. On September 1st was, look at that, it was only 10%, but it was it was pretty extremely high. You can see it was trending upward, right? That's what we're looking at currently with all of our current plays, trending upward. Okay, I guess toward the end a little more flat, but still trending upward near an all-time high. What does the short interest even look like? Maybe not. The short interest doesn't really have that kind of confirmation bias, but actually no, it was kind of trending upward. Yeah, it was only 8%. Keep that in mind. Now, keep in mind, this isn't a short squeeze or anything like that by any means. But, I think these are, I think they're assisting factors to price action being this large, right? Because as you can see, the shares on loan, kind of went down, and then it rallied for a second, and now it started trending down as the price started continue to rally, right? And you can see it by the chart. It kind of just tells its own story. But the positive news plus the people that was in this stock kind of holding strong, and the shorts, how they have to either hedge their position or just get out of their position and cover, I think all play a factor in what can happen here. And this stock wasn't even, too heavily shorted. Can you imagine one of these large stocks having these where the float is 50% of the stock? A lot of these where they're close to 50. Could you imagine a catalyst where these stocks go crazy? Like, just keep that in mind. It's a long wait, but it's always worth the wait. Remember when you were in AMC and it was at $10 and it went all the way to $70? Wasn't that worth every single day? All the down days, all the red days, all the stuff. It felt so freaking good, and that's why I hold these stocks. Like, I don't know if they're gonna pay out. I based on my analysis, like I think it is going to pay out, and so that's why I hold these stocks, right? So I just want to cover that. I know it's a long video, I apologize, but I'm very passionate about what's going on, and I just I don't know, I don't want people to make your own financial decisions, but I personally see the light at the end of the tunnel. And you know what, if I have to wait for it, I'll wait for it. I think it's worth every single day, every single second that I'm waiting for these stocks to play, to take off, to go crazy, because I think at the end of the day, when and if it finally happens, it'll be worth it. Okay, and that's what I'll leave you with. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me there. You guys have a fantastic day. Peace.